The Galactic Council had always considered humans peculiar. They were soft-bodied, fragile creatures who died if they breathed the wrong gases or stayed too long without water. Yet somehow these improbable beings had clawed their way to the stars and earned a seat among the ancient races. Commander Zixthor of the Krellian Dominion had studied human psychology extensively. He knew their weaknesses, their emotional attachments, their irrational need to protect the young, their stubborn refusal to acknowledge superior firepower. These weaknesses would make the siege of Orbital Academy Station simple. The station hung in high orbit above the colony world of New Harmony, a mixed-species educational facility where the children of diplomats, merchants, and military personnel learned together. Humans comprised barely 15% of the student population, yet they'd somehow convinced the council to place 2 human instructors on staff. Zixthor watched his tactical display as his fleet surrounded the station. 300 souls aboard, 68 children. The council would capitulate to his demands rather than risk an interstellar incident. "Broadcast the ultimatum," he commanded. Inside the academy, Jennifer Hart was teaching her mixed-species class about Earth literature when the alarms began their awful shrieking. The lioness-like Vren cubs immediately bristled. The crystalline Melodian children chimed in distress, and the human children, 4 of them, looked to her with wide, terrified eyes. "Everyone follow Emergency Protocol Delta," Jennifer said, her voice steady despite the ice flooding her veins. 20 years as a teacher on Earth's roughest stations had taught her that calm adults created calm children. "Walk, don't run." She ushered them toward the reinforced safe room, counting heads when young Maya Thornton, barely 6 standard years old, stumbled. Jennifer scooped her up without breaking stride. Quill Donovan, the station's maintenance chief and the only other human on staff, appeared in the corridor intersection. His scarred face was grim, and he carried a plasma torch that had never been designed as a weapon. "Krellian warships," he said quietly. "They're demanding the council release their political prisoners or they start venting sections." Jennifer's jaw tightened. "The children? Safe room won't hold if they breach the hull." Quill's eyes, the color of storm clouds, met hers. "Station security is 4 Pleiadian guards with stun batons. The AI already surrendered administrative control to prevent casualties. Then we wait for the fleet? 40 minutes out, maybe." A holographic projection flickered to life in the corridor. Commander Zixthor's reptilian face, satisfied and cruel. "Attention, occupants. This station is now under Krellian authority. Remain calm and you will not be harmed. Resistance will be met with." That's when they heard it. A child's scream, raw with terror, echoing from the residential section. Jennifer's head snapped toward the sound. Every human who'd ever heard that particular pitch of child fear knew it in their bones. Something beyond scared. Something in mortal danger. "They weren't supposed to go there," Quill whispered. But his expression was changing, something ancient and terrible rising behind his eyes. Jennifer felt it too. That thing humans carried in their DNA. The legacy of 1,000,000 years surviving on a death world. The thing that made them persistence hunters who ran prey to exhaustion. The thing that made wounded humans the most dangerous humans. The galaxy called humans space orcs as a joke. They'd forgotten why Earth's dominant predator was neither the fastest nor the strongest, but the one that never stopped coming. "Get the children sealed in," Jennifer said quietly. "I'm going." "No." Quill's hand caught her arm. "We both go." "But Jen," his voice dropped. "Don't let them see. Don't let the kids see what we're about to do." They moved through the corridors like ghosts. Quill grabbed a fire axe from an emergency locker. Jennifer found a length of reinforced cable and wrapped it around her fists. The Krellian boarding party was in the residential wing, 6 soldiers in powered armor, towering over a Melodian child they'd cornered. The crystalline girl was maybe 8, her melodic voice fractured with sobs. "Excellent," the squad leader hissed into his comm. "Commander, we have a hostage for the broadcast. This will expedite." He never finished the sentence. Humans had a saying about a particular Earth creature, the honey badger. Small, unimpressive, but absolutely fearless. When threatened, it didn't flee. It attacked. It didn't care about size or odds. It just kept coming until the threat was dead or it was evolution had given humans the same firmware. Quill moved first, his maintenance-hardened body launching the fire axe in a throw that shouldn't have been possible. It struck the squad leader's helmet seal with enough force to crack the viewport. Before the others could react, Jennifer had the cable around another soldier's neck, using his own armor's weight against him as she wrenched him backward. What happened next would be studied in xenopsychology classes for decades. Two unarmored humans dismantled 6 elite Krellian soldiers in 43 seconds. Not because humans were stronger, they weren't. Not because they were faster, they weren't that either. But because when a human decided something must die, when they entered that ancient state their psychologists called hysterical strength or berserker rage, physics suggestions became physics requests. Quill shattered armor joints with improvised leverage. Jennifer used momentum and the enemy's own mass as weapons. When a Krellian raised his plasma rifle, Quill tanked the shot to his shoulder and kept moving, the scent of his own burned flesh irrelevant to the objective. The Melodian child watched with wide, faceted eyes as the two humans stood over 6 fallen soldiers, both bleeding, both shaking with adrenaline, both very much alive. "It's okay now," Jennifer gasped, dropping to one knee beside the girl. "You're safe. We've got you." Commander Zixthor watched his tactical feed with dawning horror. His elite squad, annihilated by 2 civilian educators. Then the human fleet arrived, 38 minutes early, burning gravitic drives at dangerous overcharge. The Admiral's face appeared on his screen. Human, female, and absolutely without mercy. "Commander Zixthor, you just threatened human children. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to surrender your entire fleet, or I'm going to show you why the rest of the galaxy really calls us space orcs." The Krellians surrendered in 15. Later, as medical teams treated their wounds, Quill and Jennifer sat in the observation deck, watching the Krellian ships being escorted away by human destroyers. "They'll study this," Quill said quietly. "Try to understand why we did it." Jennifer watched the stars. "Let them wonder. Some things can't be taught. You either protect the children or you're not human enough to understand." Quill nodded, because across the galaxy, among all the races that flew between stars, only humans had a saying that summed it up perfectly: "Fuck around and find out." The honey badger didn't care about odds. It only cared about the job, and humans were the galaxy's honey badgers.